Why y'all tripping on the Duke Blue Devils? Yeah, we know about Coach K and all those Final Fours and all the NCAA championships in men's basketball. When asked about their football, it's chuckles, key. Not so fast, my friend. I've been watching for the last 10 years Duke Blue Devils slowly elevate their football program. In week one, knocking off ACC favorites Clemson Tigers in dominating fashion. Somehow, I'm still hearing chuckles, key. When the question is asked, is Duke now the favorites to win the ACC? You hear those chuckles? You hear them? I'm not even saying that. But if someone did say, is Duke the ACC front runners? You'll hear some chuckles. Especially FSU fans who simply crushed the number 5 team in the country, SEC's very own LSU. Speaking of the SEC and all the conference jibber jabber, all this conference realignment talk, with blowouts at NC, North Carolina at South Carolina, 31-17, and FSU dismantling FSU in the second half, LSU in the second half, 45-24, and SEC, they got one with Tennessee beat Virginia 49-13. We think Virginia is one of our bottom team, but if Duke all of a sudden emerge as a power, and if Mario Cristobal can get the University of Miami back to its, I just say near glory day, all of a sudden the ACC looks like an opposing conference. Next week will show how tough the ACC can be. With NC State, they're at home against Notre Dame. Yeah. Who, by the way, they may become an ACC member at Notre Dame, boosting ACC strength even more. You also have Miami versus Texas A&M. That's probably a statement game for both teams. Whoever loses this game will have a tough time getting over a questioning period. In these team circumstances, they're gonna lose the process is gonna be questioned. It will bring questions to the process. How good are we? Will seep in their minds. They gonna wonder because they both played powder puff. Let's be honest. Everybody like, oh, you're happy you played New Mexico. You happy you played Miami of Ohio. Now you play the real team. Whoever the winner is gonna be considered that real team, and the loser is gonna be considered. See, you faced the real team and got exposed. So this is an exposed game. Unfortunately, someone will be exposed. If it's a good game, maybe they can save face. But for the most part, if it's a blowout, it really is going to be viewed as you ran up into a real team and you got exposed with that mediocre you played week one. And how they overcome that questioning period, this losing team, because they're going to question, are we really good? Or are we not, how good are we? And they're going to have to go back to work, go back to practice, But in their mind, they don't know. They're going to be anxious to try to prove it, hopefully. Some minds, they give up. Ooh, what kind of dog did you have? The Pitt Panther versus Cincinnati. That's going to be a great game. Who also will be a good measurement on how good the ACC conference really is. And by the way, a side note, Cal at Auburn, Cal looked at that like they had a little more offense than expected. Than they normally, they looking like they better than they are of previous. Cal, yes. And they play Auburn. And I think what I saw from a little bit of what I saw, I didn't watch the whole game. I said, oh, they look like they got some explosive weapons. And they look like they got a scheme running there. And I could see them busting Auburn. Auburn didn't look too impressive, I don't think. But I tell you. And they got SMU at Oklahoma. Who Cal and SMU will soon be members of the ACC. So that's kind of an important game to see what this ACC conference looks like. Because if Miami, FSU get back to their norm, FSU look like they're a few steps ahead of us and they're on their way back there. We're hoping we're back, Miami. When I say we're hoping we're back. We will see in the exposure game of this Texas A&M game that we're about to have soon. And Duke going in and beating Clemson. This is either Duke has emerged finally. They went 9-4 last year, losing games by less than 7. They 3 or 4 games they lost. They lost by a very few margins. So maybe they've gotten over the hump and they're ready to be like, man, we can win this ACC. FSU got something to say about that. Miami don't play Duke this year. And we've been having some scrappy moments with Duke. And look what the Google search results show. Oh yeah, look up Google Duke's recruiting. Now I'll see the rankings and all that. But it keeps saying Duke's recruiting class continue to surge with the cherry on top. Duke's recruiting class continue to surge. Now, those rankings are gonna be like that because it's Duke. You gotta have the good grades to go to Duke. So they're surging, man. They're the new front runners. Wait, is this article real? 17 overall on 247 Sports, 2023 team rankings. That's 10 spots above Alabama. Is that true? Or is that just clickbait? It says I now. Duke football recruiting class ranks ahead of Alabama. I don't know, man. Is this real? Duke is the front runners. Over the 10 years, I've been watching Duke elevate their program. And we're about to get into these stats over the last 10 years and over the last few coaches. 12. Duke started to turn their program around, going 6-7, bowl eligible. And in 2013, they amazingly, as you can see here, is the last 10 years of the Duke schedule, more than 10 years. But we're going to start with 2012 when they went 6-7, bowl eligible. In 2013, they took a huge leap, winning 4 more games, going 10-4. 2014, they go 9-4. 2015, they go 8-5. Then they had a rocky little slide where they go 4-8. And they get back on the horn, 7-6, 8-5. And then they fall 5-7. COVID hit, 2-9. 2021, 3-9. They decided that they're used to winning 6, 7, 8 games, and they can't take these back-to-back 2-9, 3-9 seasons. So they went on ahead and cut ties with Cuttcliff, but they need at least, they made the right decision, but they need to at least give them some respect, because way back in '08 when it was 4-8, 3-9, 3-9, y'all was okay with those back-to-back 9-loss seasons. But then when Cuttcliff turned your program around, win 10 games, 9 games, 8 games, 7 games, 8 games, y'all got used to winning. Dude, y'all haven't never won back in the day. But that's about to change because Cuttcliff has elevated your program. Mike Elko takes over. Yeah, Mike Elko. Hey, man. Duke is now the front runners.